Hey M.A.V show listeners, this is future little brother here. I just wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that this is the first time we have done this episode over a Zoom call. The way things are set up, we added a third person, and it was just kind of like the only way we can do it. But that doesn't change anything. We still are getting you these jam-packed, awesome, full episodes, and we're still getting you this great content. The third person will add a video game aspect. We saw that we were kind of lacking that, so they're here to help out with that portion. But other than that, guys, it's still the same. It's still awesome. You might hear a little bit of sound quality difficulty, maybe here or there, but nevertheless, it's still a still a great episodes, and we will always keep pumping out this content for you guys. Thank you for being loyal to us, and see you in the episode.
You're listening to the M.A.V show, episode number 20, Your Dream Anime. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the M.A.V show. Whoa. I am your host, King Vontae, KV for short.
I'm your co-host, little brother.
And I'm an addition to the team now. I'm Rocky.
Rocky.
Just call me emotional support.
Emotional
what?
support.
Call me emotional support.
He's our emotional support guy. All right, guys, and on this podcast, we talk about manga, anime, and video games.
The very three. I usually handle the anime. KV usually handles the manga, and Rocky is a new addition to the team, and he shall be handling the video games.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, always remember, hit us up on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, what is it, iTunes. Give us that 5-star rating. You know, it helps us out tremendously. Today's episode is going to be very interesting, and we would truly, truly love to hear you guys' input as well. So just take a listen to ours, and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
All right, guys. So, how was your guys' week?
Rocky.
Mine was pretty rough.
I was going to say, I'll give it to Rocky first.
Mine was pretty rough. My boss might be leaving this weekend or this coming up week. And if he leaves, that means the position gets opened and I am next in line to take it. And I don't want it.
I was going to say, what do you mean? That's great news.
No, because upper management right now is falling apart and they're shifting all the blame to pretty much us. So my boss is leaving because he's tired of it. And if he leaves and I move up, then I get the brunt end of the stick, and he knows more than I do. And if I move up and I don't know as much as him, I'm not going to survive.
But that paycheck, though.
Oh, it's cool. They'll give me $3 more. I think I'm fine.
Take the $3 more.
No, it's not worth it. Not for the extra headache and the people trying to pass the buck. And
yeah, I'm already field coordinating. I'm already talking to system and tool owners. I'm already doing all the paperwork in the field. I'm validating all their tools. Next thing they want me to do, they want me modeling next week. Actually, I'm supposed to start modeling. But I'm probably gonna in like Revit, like tools, lines.
Okay, so yeah, I heard modeling.
Yeah, I don't need to get naked and stand on a podium. If I get paid to do that, that'd be worth it.
I was like, bro, if you're doing that, like, congratulations.
Right?
Like, oh.
I ain't good enough yet. I'm still losing weight.
We're all on that journey. It's okay.
But overall, you don't want it?
No, I don't want the position. Maybe with a few more years of experience, or if I got to take a modeler position, that'd be cool. But that's not gonna happen for a while.
I'm not gonna lie. We call them area leads. If my area leads stepped down and said, "Little brother, you're gonna have to take over the whole thing," I'd be like, I don't want to, but bet I got you.
Like, well, the problem is it'd be cool, but if upper management wasn't so trash, then I'd be like, yeah, definitely.
Right. But at least like look at it from my position. So KV, this goes for you too, Rocky. So if your management stepped down, could you take over though?
Yes.
So what my job is more of, like, it's a small business, and so it's just like my boss and his like 4 or 5 teammates, like his little group, and so it's just us. So if my boss was to leave, it like the whole thing would fall apart. Like we don't
But
know
that's
how we would get paid. We don't know who to call. Like it'd be
also your boss signs the checks. So like
almost, yeah. Like he
also
calls it in, talks to the accountant. Like I know the accountant. I know where the accountant works. I've met the accountant. But I'd be like, so what do we do next, guys?
so I'd say if your boss stepped down, you would take over.
I could, but it would be one hell of a job.
Ooh. I guess Rocky, you done with yours?
Yeah, let me know that. I beat a game, which is actually gonna be my game for the end, so be ready for that.
Ooh.
Currently playing Stellaris. I'm actually watching AIs. It took us 2 months to actually beat our own game of Stellaris, and I didn't even win. My ally won, and she was an AI, so that was kind of unfair. Uh, yeah, I'm watching AIs kill each other at the moment. It's a lot of fun.
I'm watching AIs kill each other. That sounds like a pastime, but for my week was all right, just going through work for the most part. Living my best life. Got my side
Living my
projects
best life.
going. That's a fun song. I don't get the people who are all like, I hate that song, but anyways,
It was horrible when it was on repeat.
shout out to Little Duval, man. He makes a lot of comedic songs. But I would say my week is very busy. Other than work, I have a lot of like I said, my side project going on. I gotta I gotta put a lot of effort into it. I'm still 100% into the podcast, but if I need to dedicate my time towards the side project, it also has to get time. So splitting it like 70-30 time wise, I guess it's kind of hard.
Oh yeah, it's definitely hard. You got to try to put your energy in different places, but it's definitely manageable.
Hmm. What about you, KB?
My week has been pretty good. Like I said, I've been definitely working on a podcast, working on our next 5 moves. Um, I am definitely pumped for season two.
Nani? We're getting a season two?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, most definitely. Because we're probably gonna go up to like 26, 27 episodes for our first season. We're gonna try to come back. Probably we're gonna take like a month off and come back even harder.
What?
What about those upgrades? I heard we're probably gonna upgrade the way we do things.
Oh yes, most definitely. We're definitely gonna try to upgrade our equipment. Maybe try to even meet up in better spots. So definitely gonna try to do more social media type of things. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, little different things that you guys could see us more, like YouTube. Um, there's a lot of different things, and so like I'm really really like pumped up for season two. Like season two, almost like your favorite show or like manga anime. Like I am like definitely like happy, like lit for season two. I know it's gonna pop off for you guys.
Ooh, I'm all about it then.
I'm excited. I'm ready.
Yep, yep. Other than that, so what? So since we live in Arizona, guys, how did the monsoon from last night affect you guys? All the dust, storm, and wind and rain and everything.
It
Rocky,
was
you also say you take point on that
oh,
because I got some stuff to say.
mine was awful. Mine it didn't even really rain for me. I got to work. I tried to get into work. It was sprinkling. I got through my turnstile. I heard the rain coming, and I got rained on hard. By the time I got in the tent, I was soaking wet. Then had to go into a building that's about 70 degrees at all times. So I'm sitting
Yeesh.
there soaking wet, sitting in a chair at 70 degrees. It was awful. It was a bad day.
I couldn't do
Yeesh.
it. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home for today, guys. I'm just gonna call that a day.
That actually reminds me of one of my jobs. Just the building was at a steady, constant, just like 80 degrees, and it never changed. We had like these giant, like industrial fans, but it didn't matter. It did not matter.
Yeah, that I cannot do. I would never go back to a freezer type of job. I've done it. I
Mm-mm.
would never do it again. I am from Arizona. I am not built for the cold at all.
I remember those jobs too. I had one of those. But were you safe at least, Rocky?
I'm not sick, so I think I was pretty safe.
Crazy part is you can't even get like regular or like normal sick because people be like, "Oh, he's coughing." Yep, he got that COVID. Oh,
He
you
got
got a
the
fever?
They're like, oh look, 2 weeks
Got the
off for
Rona?
you, not paid. Good job. Have fun.
he got the Rona.
He
Uh,
got the Rona.
the monsoon for me though, intense. I mean, it wasn't like like it wasn't tearing down like buildings or nothing, but it was cool, kind of. Just because I work in a good sized building, so and just you walk in any part of that building, you hear just wind just like pushing against the building, just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I go see walk to my friend. I see her, and I was like, "Is it raining hard out there?" She's like, "It's raining sideways." And I'm like, "How is it raining sideways?"
Is it rain sideways? That's impossible.
So you go out there and you're like, oh, you right.
I go out there and we have this like little food area where we eat outside. Yeah, you can't go out there. It's flooded. It is just water just everywhere. And then I go out to go get my lunch. And then the coolest part of it was like in Arizona, you don't get that many lightning storms or thunderstorms or whatever. And I'm looking at the clouds and I see this like lightning bolt go from it goes like it starts at the peak of it, goes downwards, curves up, and swoops back up. It was like the coolest lightning bolt I've seen, and it happened all in less than like a millisecond. So just try to picture that you seeing a lightning flash just swoop up. Oh my god, that was so awesome.
That would be pretty cool though.
Actually, the cooler one that I saw was like one lightning strike, and it like split apart like a spider web or something like that. That one was intense.
Well, I would say like for me for the monsoon, like don't like I did have a power outage last night, which was like low key annoying, but like it was like I was already going to bed, so I really didn't care. Um, it's just when I woke up this morning, just seeing so many trees and stuff in the road, and having to like duck and dodge all of them. That part I was like,
Mm,
yeah, I could definitely do without 4, 5, 6, 7 trees, or for a whole block, like a tree might have fell over on some power lines, and or like something might have happened and like a whole
excuse me.
block is just all out, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm over it. Like,
Right. There were a
thank you for
couple.
the wind and rain, but no.
There were a couple like branches that were torn down by my job, and I had to like pump the brakes, put on my hazard, so people just didn't run into me.
Because remember, we are like the top 5 states. Yeah, we're like in
We're
the top five, right?
six. We're
Oh,
six.
we're six for like worst drivers. So yeah, I believe it.
I
Dang you,
believe it.
Arizona. Dang you, Arizona. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Nevada is ahead of us, so that tells us something, I guess.
Oh Lord,
And it
oh
could
Lord.
be worse.
Would you guys guess who's the number one worst drivers?
California,
New
No,
York,
no,
Texas,
no,
Utah.
no, Missouri.
Man, I don't even know where
Missouri.
Missouri's located. Don't they sell potatoes there or something?
Hey yo, but
Where
shout
is
out.
Missouri?
I'm not necessarily sure, but shout out to Missouri. They are one of our listeners. We have many listeners, and shout out to you, Ireland. I see you. I see you. I see you, Ireland.
Hey, thank you,
I
thank you
don't go
for
to
all our
map,
listeners
but
all
trust me,
over the world.
Like we got many listeners. Just a quick rundown: Ireland, United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Singapore, as of recently. Thank you, Singapore,
Like I said, definitely a lot of different listeners everywhere.
and India. Sorry, India.
There too. All right, guys, you ready to get into today's episode?
oh yeah, I'm
Yes,
excited.
yes. Speaking of like, because different countries are like different worlds to us. So what we're kind of gonna get a different world type of subject going on today.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to pose a question to you guys. What is your dream anime? Or what's your? It could be your dream manga, your dream video game. And what I mean by this is, have you ever like thought about your perfect anime? Rather it be like you getting transported into a different world, or like you were born in a magic world, or like you just being in the same universe as like some of your favorite characters, like in Naruto or One Piece.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say,
definitely.
yeah. Rocky, you could take point on this one.
All right. So there's one I've always liked. I'm not a main character kind of guy. I've always wanted to be the support, but I don't want the main to be a guy. I want the support to be the guy and the girl to be the main hero. I've always thought like an isekai where the guy is playing or me as the character is why I like to go off. Plays MMOs all day. I like being support. And all his friends love him, they like playing with him. But that friendship only can go so far. He wants actual love, but he can't really find that. Working all day, they're just playing games. Yeah, he could go out, but they don't always work like that. So one day he just like imagines that, he could just leave one day. And he goes to sleep and he wakes up on the floor and there's a girl being attacked by a monster and he goes to help, but all he has is a staff and he does no damage. So he just heals her. She beats the monster and she gets all mad, like, why are you helping me? And it's like, I didn't want you to die. And she's like, I don't need your help. And he decides just from then on just to
Uh,
follow.
this is one of those situations where she's all like, I don't need help. I can do this by myself. I am strong enough. And he's like, yo, just take the help, yo. Just
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly
trying
like
to
that.
I'm not trying to say anything about you. I'm just trying to actually be a good person and
I
help.
was trying to help you out. Help you.
And I want it to be more like not solely fake. Well, a lot of action would be cool. I like a lot of action, but I like romance a lot. So I want it to be like they're with each other constantly. He's always helping her. She gets mad, and it's a back and forth comedy kind of duo to the point where she no longer cares actually about being the strongest. She just wants to prove that she's strong enough to not need his help before she actually tells him she likes him. And the guy, on the other hand, is like, man, I want to tell her I like her, but she seems to hate me. But it's quite the opposite when it comes from her because she's only doing it to prove herself to him, really. But he doesn't need crap to be proved.
So it's one
Aw.
of those weird situations where well, I don't want to call her a tsundere at that point because, but it's like one of those situations where they're constantly going back and forth, but in reality they truly do like and possibly love each other.
Exactly that.
So like a romantic comedy type of anime.
Yes, but with
You're
action.
you're
Because
building a
I,
rom com.
hey, nothing wrong with that. I know y'all don't like it, but I like it a lot. Uh, what's what else to that as well? They're like set with a task to defeat the demon lord. The basic isekai kind of thing. Well, she's like, well, I'm gonna beat it, the demon king, just to prove to him that I don't need his help, and then I can confess my love to him. And he's like, I gotta go with her so she don't die because she's dumb. And from then on, it'll just they'll get to the point where they're not even doing it to fight the king or the demon king. They're just there to really just try to prove something to each other.
That's
But
actually sounds nice. I was gonna say like if I just heard that description, I'd be like, oh, I want to kind of look at this anime. What is the name of that anime?
I would
yeah,
definitely check it out. I give it.
So what would you give that? What would you name that anime?
I am horrible at names, awful at
Yeah.
naming things. My the book I'm writing right now, I don't really say it's a book, but like a little short novel that I'm writing for myself right now has no title still. I probably won't give it a title till I'm done because I can't think of names.
Yeah.
That
So
It's
yeah.
not hard.
No, you say it's not hard, but I've had this problem since I was a kid. When I think I was like, I think 13, I played a computer game called M.A.V, and I got a spirit for my weapons. And you get imprinted on a weapon, you have this spirit weapon. I couldn't think of a name. I had her for a whole month, never made a name for her. And then finally, I was like, I got to think of something because I wanted to use her. Imbued her my longsword, named her Sweetness.
sweetness.
So your
Yes.
longsword was named Sweetness.
Yes, her name was Sweetness. And I fed her diamonds and gems because that's what they eat. And I felt so dumb about it after maybe a year of playing because people could examine you and they're like, why is your sword named that? I'm like, listen, I don't know. I couldn't think of a name.
See what happened was, um, I would say like of course I'm not a guru of name and stuff, but I can usually give something a good name when I hear about it just by hearing the description. KV actually thought of an anime himself, and I kind of like pitched him a name, and he said,
Mm,
"Ooh."
we'll get to that when I get to my part.
And I'm not trying to steal his thunder or anything. Um, what's it called? I would say if I was gonna name your anime, I'd probably say, dang, I really don't know.
I got
I'm gonna
I got
make
to
up
name it
something
something overly
before you.
excessive, like those my mom and her two multi attack. I name it like the comedy duo between the two that actually love each other but want to prove it first. Just
Well, too
something
long.
overly excessive. Yeah, exactly. I love those.
Some long that actually even says what that whole anime is about in just the title.
Right.
Exactly.
Like something like in another world with my smartphone. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Like these long names that y'all keep putting out there.
That's oddly specific.
That's oddly specific.
Hey, you know what? It works.
All right, KV, you want me to take over or you want to go from here?
Go ahead. What about
Okay.
you, little brother?
So I guess I've been thinking about this like subconsciously for a while now because anime is our life at this point. I guess I would go with something. I would go with one of two things. I would go with any isekai maybe or a reverse isekai. it's like a big like between. I can't decide between the either ones.
Mm, okay, so go ahead.
I guess I would, and I'm not that more. I'm not as detailed in it as Rocky was, but I would guess I would just say if I'm gonna pick like a revert. Ah, Jesus, no. Actually, I think I would go with the My Hero situation, like where the world gets powers out of nowhere.
Really?
Oh yeah, one by one, people are born. That just it becomes the norm.
So I guess I would have it as the main character, like is the main character. One day, he goes and he's not born with the
Wait,
powers,
real
but
quick, would you be the main character or somebody else?
I'd probably be the main character. Like
Okay,
I'm
keep going.
I'm I'm more of like I'm the main character of my story, but
Hmm.
it'd probably be like me as the main character. You're not born with it. It just kind of hit really suddenly. So like you're like right at the like curve of like the world getting stuttering superpowers, and it's like everybody just slowly starts to notice their powers. But me as the main character, I know what my powers are. Like I kind of like I'm not an expert at them yet, but like I can kind of gauge my powers and see what they are. But I don't do nothing with them. I let everybody, like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I can spew fire from my mouth. I can shoot laser from my eyes. I can breathe ice from my toes. I just.
Wait. You're not just gonna breeze past the last one like it made complete sense. How do you breathe breathe ice from your toes?
I don't know, man. Powers are weird these days, especially in like
Oh,
My Hero Academia.
I mean, he's not wrong. Guy shoots tape out of his elbow.
There you go.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You haven't watched it, have you?
I've never seen My Hero
Oh man, I
Academia.
keep forgetting that. I'm like, there's always one person I know that doesn't see one specific anime that all my friends have seen, and it bugs me because I'm like, it's good. And you're like, nah.
Yeah, there's I forgot his name too, but he literally like shoots tape out of his elbows and he swings around like Spider-Man.
How do you have tape coming out of your? See, this is the number one
It's a
reason why
power.
I would never watch My Hero Academia because it just makes no sense even coming off tape out of your elbows. Really,
Yeah,
really.
it's
You're
great.
gonna trying to sell me on that type of superpower. Really,
He's actually one of the
and try to say
better
it's good.
he's actually one of the better students of the class. Like he actually holds his own.
Yeah, you know what? They have it grow as invisible,
I
and I don't mean
can't.
like she could turn invisible. She's
I
just
can't.
invisible.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
You know what she wears for her outfit? It's gloves and what? That's it, really? Or maybe some shoes?
I think it's just like literally she has a whole uniform, but to take full effect of her power, her power she gets naked.
What?
I don't know if she's naked. Well, she has a super outfit on. I want to know. I want to hope that she's wearing clothes, but yeah, she's usually just wearing gloves and some boots.
but sorry to roll that back. So, but what I mean is like people would have just powers that they could be anything and no matter what it is. Like Rocky brought up the great point. Dude shoots tape out of his elbow. Somebody could shoot ice from their toes. Somebody can make
Still sounds so wrong.
somebody can make slime come out of their fingertips. I don't know. But like that's what I mean. Just the world has so many different powers, so many unique abilities, unique abilities. Oh my god, I cannot talk today. But it would be like my main character. He knows what his power is, but he kind of just like stays on the sideline. He lets everybody just do what they got to do. And as like life goes on, we start to get used to it more and more. And everybody wants to, of course, take full advantage of these powers. So like, and by that I mean like, you know what? Everybody has powers. Everybody knows how to control them. Let's do a tournament to see who's the best power wielder. So like one day my character just kind of and like I guess this would be like
Tournament art.
yeah, I guess this would be like a school situation for me. So say like my character is just in high school, just by then you are learning your normal everyday like what high school is today, but everybody has powers on top of that. Not necessarily everybody's trying to be a superhero, but everybody's just trying to live their life with powers. But we have like little side power events. So there's a tournament arc and I would say like and I've always thought about it like this. So say like my character goes through like a little side group. So like say he's like with the music department or like the choir department or whatever, and everybody has like their event. So like there's the sports community that's there. There's the yearbook. There's the student council or whatever. But in this tournament, you have to go with your group. You have to whatever group wins gets like the prize money or whatever like that. Does that make kind of sense?
I could be one of those poor college, high school students who live on their own, but he's like, oh, I could definitely use all this extra money.
Pretty much, but
Uh-huh.
Like
but
Sideman.
you have to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it, but you have to do it with your group. So like him being like he just joined like the let's just say the choir group, and just because he just wanted to do it just to not be bored. But his group is like the weakest group out of everybody, and in order to like enter the tournament, you need at least like 5 people or like 4 people on your team. But he's all like, you know what? I'll do the tournament, but you guys could join with me, but just sit on the sideline. I'll handle every single fight by myself. And then they're like, "What are you talking about? Like nobody really knows the main character's powers. They just kind of like know that he's just like they. I'll just say it. So like he has like sound powers because that's always my thing.
I
I've
knew it.
always
I knew it.
I've always wanted sound powers. So if anybody's confused by that, by sound powers, I mean like I can channel like certain like music and use them as certain attacks. Dubstep being the main outlet. If you know how anything about dubstep or how dubstep sounds, it's crazy loud. It's crazy like heavy in the bass. It hits hard. So, but everybody knows the main character as just like he's just a loudspeaker. He goes into the tournament, everybody doesn't think nothing of him. He fights his first fight, dude just gets wrecked. He sends him flying across the field, and everybody's like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "Yep,
Nani?
I'm winning this tournament because I want that prize money." And then he just like goes like, there's probably like maybe 1 or 2 dudes who actually can go toe to toe with him.
Like all like without him actually going nuts on it, or just
Yeah, like there's probably like the last guy that of course, and then this is like cliche or whatever, very shonen of it, very like over the top action. But like as he gets through the tournament, he like maybe fights the one other guy who's kind of a challenge for him, and then there's the top tier dude who like hasn't lost at all, or who's just like the most power of OP, and then he fights my character, and then like they both like go on a showdown. It's like almost a draw when they're fighting, but like I feel like my character would come on top.
Plot armor.
No, not even plot armor, dude. Like I would work this down to the bone to like why the sound power would just overcome whatever power I gave to like the main villain.
That definitely sounds good too. So, what would you name your anime?
See, and I'm so
ha
upset.
ha. I do it.
I'm so upset. No, because I was gonna say God of High School, but I can't do that because guess what? God of High School is a thing. I would say I would say top top power.
Top power.
Top power.
Top power. And by that, I just mean like who's the top user with their power, and not just like who has the best power, but who is like the top in using their abilities, like using the full effect of their power. So when I say my character has sound abilities, he's not just like spewing dubstep from his hands. He has all aspects of sound. If he wanted to, and he hears you talking, and he hates how you sound, he can literally take the sound away from your voice.
You know what your guy's name should be?
What's that?
Climb. So you can always
Climb.
make a dumb joke about how I'm gonna climb to the top.
Mm, I feel like I want to fight you for that. Climb. That actually might be a thing. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna write that down.
You mean right?
Write that down.
Right. WRITE. Right. Man.
But
All right.
yeah, that'd be my thing. A regular, typical shonen type of anime base. But yeah, go ahead, KV.
All right. And so I really had to kind of like think about mines because at first I was maybe gonna go with something like a video game where you know, like I was like, you know what? Because at first I couldn't really come up with anything, so I was like, I'll probably be wanting just to be in the universe of like Final Fantasy X. Favorite video game of all time. Um, I don't. I would probably wouldn't care to be the main character, but probably be like a guardian to a summoner or something. I thought about that, but I was like, nah.
Final
Fuck it.
Fantasy.
Oh yeah. Also, if I could also be transported to the universe a little bit, I would also say like maybe something like soul leveling,
So
like that right
isekai.
there. Oh yeah, like it would have to be something like that, or maybe you just even be born into a magical world like that. Um, But if I actually had to create like my own anime, and once again, like little brother, actually, like I've actually been trying to come up with the anime, uh, with little brother, like that I've always wanted to kind of create. So for this one, I also wouldn't want to be the main character, and I've always told my little brother like, yo, if I like, I don't want to be the main character, but I do want to be the strongest character, and I never take it out. That's my only covet. I was like, that's my only thing that I want. Like, I was like, yo, you can be the main character. The story can be all about you. But as the older brother, I take no else. Like, I'm the strongest character in the anime. I take no else. And like, that's the only thing I want.
I'm gonna convince him to kind of like maybe work that around, but yeah, we'll keep going with it.
Never.
Oh man.
And so, it was crazy part is I was thinking about this. So the anime would be called War Within Brothers, and it wouldn't necessarily really be about the brothers, but between the the gods that reside within the brothers. So I would have the god of chaos in me, and while little brother, his main character name would be Art. His actual name spelled backwards. Art would be traveling around the world and kind of be solving things and doing whatever until like certain things that's going on. He starts saving certain people in different countries because his older brother. I never thought of my character's name like ever. He's like a conqueror. He's taking over different places, but they both come from the same kingdom, and he doesn't know why his brother is like taking over certain like trying to take over everything, but he just knows it's just in his brother's nature. It's just in his brother's nature, just to be almost a little bit violent, a little bit evil, but not like crazy evil where he's like killing cats for fun or something, or something. I don't
Right.
know. And so while Art is just kind of going around chilling. He comes across this deity god of like justice and good, and he starts to go around help people out more, but he starts to develop a oversensitive justice. Like he starts to give like too harsh of a punishment, and then like this is where the part he starts, something is wrong, and so this is where like you would be introduced to two gods where you would see like how in the before time and like the prologue of how like god of justice of like good was trying to ultimately destroy all evil, but like evil was like, yo, like you can't destroy me because there's supposed to be a balance. Like I'm supposed to exist, you're supposed to exist, stay on your side of the room and I'll stay on the side of mine. But the god of good didn't want to hear that, so chaos had to go down to earth and like try to hide from god of good until like he messed up and like did something it like come down to, and it's like a really really good story. And so like I've never really planned out all of it, but I'm all like it's really a war between these two gods, and the brothers are like the vassals for these gods, and then like they'll probably end up clashing.
And all I have to say to that is, mwah, mwah,
That's
beautiful,
that's where the title comes from, the war within brothers.
magnifique.
I'd watch it.
I feel like every time KV would tell somebody that description, that long description, and then anybody who listened to it just at the end of it be like, "I'll watch it." Just
Plain and simple.
I'll watch it.
I don't know how it goes. Gotta watch the animation.
KV,
So,
that's
so the crazy part is like the animation would be between like a good few ones I've seen. So I've always seen animation from like Fate Night Zero because of their fight scenes and everything. I'm like, yo, this would be perfect for like the type of anime I have inside my head. Maybe Boondocks. Um, who else I've seen? Like I've seen Avatar has pretty good animation. I want something that has pretty good movement, nothing CGI because I'm definitely not a fan of CGI. Um, Maybe something I've got of high school, but to me, it has to have really good fluid motion that could handle some pretty intense fight scenes.
Like
right.
Baki?
Not Baki, because Baki is CGI slash 3D ish.
I was supposed to say the new version of Baki is CGI.
Yeah.
The old
I would
version is
say
pretty decent with its animation.
I would almost say something like Attack on Titan that might have a little bit of it in there when they're like gliding around on the movable equipment. I forgot what it's called. It's
Yeah.
been a while. But something maybe like that. And like I said, to me, it's just because I want it to look really good, but also I want the fight scenes and stuff to look really, really well too.
Right. Something that's
Or
not
even
like. Go ahead.
or like something even like Afro Samurai.
Okay. Something that's not like, and I will always like look at. Black Clover is what it is. But what really kills me is like when they were really getting into his like full power. Um, they lost their animation. They lost like their fluency, if that's what even is. The fluency a word? We're not gonna challenge it right now, but they just lost like the very like just clean cut drawings on how a normal like animation style would be. Rocky, have you seen Black Clover?
Yes, and I didn't like it.
Really?
did, did you
I'm
see up to that?
I'm tired of friendships. I'm tired of rewatching Fairy Tale all over again.
So it wasn't necessarily like that. Fairy Tale wasn't. It wasn't a battle between like the two best friends, but it is one of those where it's like friendship power overcomes everything. And
Yeah, I've recently come to hate that.
I'm definitely tired of that too.
Uh, but did you see that scene where he first transforms into like the devil form, and then he fought the one dude from the Diamond Kingdom?
I watched half the first episode. It was like, nope,
Oh, so you didn't even like really watch it?
no.
So what got me
I don't
is
plan on it either.
like what's crazy. I was reading a manga and I was like, yo, I'm actually pretty into this, but the instant I started watching like the anime, I'm like, oh my god, he screams so much, just like Naruto did it at the beginning. I'm like, I cannot do this. I'm not gonna go through this again. I'm gone.
For one person who, for some reason, tortures himself watching anime that he knows he doesn't like, Black Clover is it's trying to be the big three, but it's failing at it because it's just going. It's like Naruto or not Naruto, Fairy Tale. How you felt like Fairy Tale really should have been a part of the big three. It's not there. It's
I
always
always say it should have been a big four. A lot of people either you hate Fairy Tale, or you like Fairy Tale, and there's really never in the middle between it. And
exactly.
but I still think like enough people knew about it, and it didn't get enough. It did get enough hype about it, even if it was a lot quieter noise compared to the big three. That it should have been like a big four. That's just my opinion.
But see, like it's One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. For the new big three, it's Demon Slayer. A lot of people say Attack on Titan, but I'm like, eh. But for the sake of this conversation, I'll say it's Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, and My Hero Academia, with Black Clover hovering on the side for being the big four.
I don't know.
Wait. So you said Demon Slayer
I've never seen Demon Slayer. I've never seen Black Clover, so I can't really.
Attack on Titan,
and
My
I
Hero.
stopped watching Attack on Titan after season 2. Got bored of it.
dang, what have you been watching?
Romance. I'm watching Snafu right now and Misfit High School Demon King. You know that weird name.
But to roll this back to digress, as far as the animation style, I feel like yeah, having your own like, and this goes for all of ours, especially all of ours has a lot of action in it too, or at least Rockies has a little bit of action. That's like it's not like what will make or break your anime, but it's like a heavy part of it. Like you gotta have some decent animators to animate your anime, or else it's gonna fall short. Because that's the first thing that people lay their eyes on. That's what the whole point of an anime is, to like be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So if you see it and it's just like, I don't really like how the movement is here and there, then you're gonna fall short. And I'm not trying to just say like, anybody who's animating or anybody who's drawing, like just do a good job or anything, because God knows like animation and anime drawings and all that are incredibly hard. Like it takes time, it's incredibly hard. If it's anything like how I'm editing with the podcast, it takes well over an hour for them. I understand that part.
Probably like a few weeks or something, or
I'd say a few months, maybe even years.
I want to say years, but
I'll say
yes.
like a project can last at least a year.
So okay, that's what you mean. I thought you meant like trying to put together like one episode or something.
Oh yeah, no, not one episode. If you can't do the first episode within at least like the first month, then you got some problems occurring.
All right, guys, and I think that would be our
Jesus.
main spot for anime today. And now it's time to get schooled.
Get schooled.
Yes, get school.
Yes, get school.
What?
All right,
I'm
guys.
telling you right now, I can beat all of you in the game, so don't even try with me right now.
No, not that. Rocky, you're still new to the podcast.
I was like, don't be telling me that. I was like, I get aggressive when it comes to gaming.
No, that sound that you just heard is our recommendations.
Oh, okay, you got me there then.
All right, guys. Let me see. I wouldn't mind starting off on recommendations unless somebody else wants to go first.
I'm okay with you guys starting off, Rocky.
I can do it right now.
All right,
So,
go ahead.
so I recently the game was on sale on Steam. It's called Prey. I feel like it's been out a pretty long time, so everybody should at least seen it before. You choose between a male or
Not seen
female.
it.
You've not seen it? Okay, well you choose between a male or a female character. It doesn't really matter. They're twins, so to speak. And the objective of this game, you wake up and you get told what to do. You immediately just start taking orders from your brother. His name is Alex. He's telling you like, oh, meet me here. Get this ready. Do this. And it's like a mini tutorial at the beginning. Well, as you do what he says, the second time you do it, something happens in the first day, and you wake up in your bed again the second day. And you get your outfit on, and all of a sudden you walk out, and the guy that was working on the mechanic, he's dead on the floor, and you're like, what's happening? And then you try to go to the elevator, the power's not working. You're just freaking out. Like, you got to get out of here. So you pick up his wrench and you break. It was weird to me. It had me confused hardcore because I didn't know where to go. You actually break your window that leads you outside of your room, and you see like beautiful sky. It looks like a balcony. You break it and glass falls over, and you're standing in the middle of a facility. You're like in a small room that has holograms in it to make you look like you're outside or you're in a building in a skyscraper. Had me going. It's really creepy, yeah. And then they're like, we got problems. There's these creatures on board, and you see this creature take the shape of something, and it looks like imagine if you had your cup in front of you. Next thing you know, there's another cup there, and you're like, why is there a second cup? And all of a sudden, your cup attacks you and turns into this creature. They're called mimics. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot. These mimics can transform into objects to trick you.
So say like a mimic from Demon Souls or Dark Souls?
No, not like a little chest. Well, I don't know. I watched KB play Demon Souls. I don't remember seeing anything like that. I mean, like
basically, they just like they're pretending to be an object.
Oh yeah, okay. You mean like that? I thought you meant like they eat you. I'm like, well,
I mean,
it's a little...
they do.
No, I guess they try.
But continue.
Yeah, pretty much after that point, they're leading you around. Like this person's like, hey, your past self has a recording telling you to do this, and your brother's like, no, do this. So you have like 3 different choices. Like you could either escape, you can help your brother try to save all the data he scavenged, or you can do what your past recording. Because apparently, when you upgrade your mind with these hypnos or hypnos or whatever they're called, when you get them removed, it erases your memory from right before you did that. So let's say you never knew how to play the trumpet, and then you got that augment, and now you can play the trumpet, and then you're like, I don't want it no more, and they take it out of your head. Everything that happened within that span of time is gone from your memory. You don't remember anything.
Oh, whoa.
So you as the character left videos for yourself explaining like, hey, do this, not this, do this, not this. Don't listen to your brother because this. But then people start telling you like, yeah, your brother is a bad guy. And then you start seeing your brother's recordings and you're like, maybe he's right. So really the game's like making choices. You're going through this whole facility that's in space. You're trying to survive those creatures. You get different guns to defend yourself with. You can unlock powers later from those creatures. But the bad thing about that is, I don't know, you get like these weird visions. I didn't know you could actually do it without their powers. But this creature hunts you if you get the powers, called the Nightmare. And that was scary. Just imagine a giant mimic, like, I don't know, it's huge. And it just tries to kill you. You have 3 minutes to survive it or just hide from it, and it goes away.
Oh.
It's a lot of fun, though. I just beat it Wednesday, actually. I beat it Wednesday. And the ending had to be tripped real hard. Did not expect that kind of ending. And I was actually kind of happy I finally beat it after so long of not having it.
Okay.
So I'm pretty curious, and we'll just throw this out here. Spoiler, what happened at the end? Because I'm curious.
I really can't tell you because I really don't want to tell you. It's purely based on the choices you make from what I've heard. I looked up the endings too. There are 3 endings. There's good, bad, And then there's the ending where you can just choose to give up on everything. Like literally, they go, "Hey, there's a safe pod. You can escape right now. 30 minutes into the game." And I saved it like, no way. And I jumped in it, and the game was over. That was it.
Oh,
I can't tell you what happens after that because I would be ruining the surprise ending. But long story short, you need to destroy the facility, EMP pulse all the creatures away within the facility, or you escape yourself and let everybody else die.
okay.
So you can't save your older brother or something?
You, yes, you can, but you have to do his part of the storyline where he's like, "Please use the EMP pulse to kill the creatures," and you can do that.
So I'm a goofball. I just realized what game you were talking about. Like at the end of your, all the memories started flooding back. This is like the black ooze type of like.
Yes, those creatures.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Uh,
spoil the ending though, because that's
I have not. I've only seen like the beginning. Like I want to say like 20, if at most 20 minutes into the beginning of the game, and it is on. It is on. You just said everything to it. Like it is a pretty cool game. Um, Honestly, to be honest, what got me hooked into that game, you never believe, was the when you're hopping into the helicopter to go meet your brother,
yeah.
was the song that was playing that introduced the game.
Oh yeah, it's a good song.
It was like just, and KV, I'll show you later because I know you would like this too. It was just like
I'm looking
so
at the game right now.
melodic, I guess is the word I use for it, maybe. But it was just like so calming, and like when you going into the game, you're like, "Oh, okay, I see. Let's go. I'm feeling this," and then it all throws out the window because it's a horror game.
Yeah, practically. Well, for like a survival horror, but you could fight. I don't count survival horror games. Survival horror if I could fight back. Games where I
Okay.
can't fight back, I can't play those. Like what is that one horror game where the guy's on the camera? Outlast.
Yeah, last,
I
yeah.
cannot play that. I watched me play it, and I was more scared to watch than him playing.
So what about games like Resident Evil?
Oh, I love Resident Evil. I beat
But
Resident Evil 7 so many times now.
are those horror games to you?
No, because I
Oh,
could fight back. Half the time, if I Dead Space, I could fight back. Not horror to me. If I can't fight back,
that's
it's not horror to me.
that's horror though. That I cannot play. Dude, I barely even watched that anime movie. Did y'all see that?
Oh, I liked it a lot.
No,
I like watching them get ripped apart by the necromorphs.
So the anime movie KV. Okay, you know what? We're gonna get off topic with that.
Oh
So,
yeah, I'm sorry, but yes,
what
Prey.
would
I
you
think it's
give? Sorry. Go ahead.
Prey about that. Okay, if I had to choose a ranking, probably a solid 7. There was some things that
Ooh.
bugged me. You have a power to like lift objects and throw them, or actually you level them to strength and throw them.
Uh-huh.
I was not able to throw stuff. I pick up like a couch that required like a level 3 lifting skill, and I couldn't throw it. So I had to like walk through it, and it would fall over, and I'd get past it. That kind of bugged me. There wasn't enough. I wasn't able to find certain objects in the game that could help me out. I guess I got hurt a lot, and you need like healing kits and repair kits and stuff for your suit. I couldn't always find them, so I struggled a lot. Like with a broken leg, I had to walk 45 minutes into that game because I had a broken leg because I jumped from too high. And you just walk everywhere, and if you sprint, oh, and you get hurt, you take damage.
Oh Jesus!
You jump, oh, you take damage, and it's like, oh my goodness. So I had to like walk everywhere, couldn't run from enemies.
But that
Just
that adds a little bit of realism to the game, though.
it did until I fell like 10 feet. My guy broke his legs horribly, and I was like, yeah, this is not. This is
All right, okay.
Oh,
KB, do
wow.
you want to take over from there, or
All right, yeah, I'll jump in from next. So he gave us a good 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna have to finish reading the Wikipedia of this game because it was really interesting. I'm not really into it. Like I'm not really a big fan of horror games at all. Like I just don't do horror games, horror movies, horror TV shows, none of the above. But I at least read about it. All right. So my manga recommendation for the week, guys, is Berserk of Gluttony. And Berserk of Gluttony, first off, when I came across this, it was a little weird. But once I started reading about it, I was like, yo, like I really like the the idea of this. So Fate, a gatekeeper who had been working for the castle, is beset by a few burdens. It is the constant hunger attacks triggered by a skill he had attained upon birth. A useless skill, it only serves to make him hungrier. However, unbeknownst to him, it has a concealed ability. On one day, having killed the thief sneaking into the castle, he finally noticed its true power, a skill that feeds upon the very soul of the subjects he kills, taking away all their powers and skill stats. And thus, finally, his constant hunger has been sated for the first time. With just that, the man who has been treated like a pile of trash slowly started raising his head. Having exceeded the concept of levels, he strikes fear with his terror-like strength, earning him the nickname Berserk of Gluttony.
Okay. Well, stop me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I've read this before. Is this the one where he can't stop himself at one point from getting hungry and he has to kill people? And the stronger they are, the more sated he is.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
I've read
definitely
this and I stopped because I was like, I'm tired of him of this. At one point he's in front of the people, then what, he starves to death? He's gonna kill the girl he likes? Like it's just gonna I don't know.
So the crazy part is, yes, you have to keep killing things, but he can also kill monsters. So that's what he mostly kills. He doesn't have to kill people.
Yes,
He can
but didn't
kill
he eat
monsters.
goblins? He ate goblins for a while, and didn't he say it took too many goblins to make him hungry? So he had to
Yeah.
kill
So
bigger things. At one point he's gonna be eating behemoths like he did the goblins, nothing's gonna save him.
true, and that's a problem he is gonna have to encounter later down the line because he's like, yo, he's like, you're gonna have to keep feeding yourself more and more different things until like the hunger, either you lose yourself to the hunger or you get killed. One or the other
Yeah.
happens.
And I couldn't. I stopped from there. I did read it though. I
main,
did like it to a degree.
main character Mason Hart.
No, the main character is Fate.
Yeah,
His
his
name
name
is
is Fate.
Fate.
I think I looked at the wrong thing.
Fate Graphite.
Fate Graphite.
Yeah, that's his name.
I don't know his last name. I don't remember last names unless I read
So
it.
his last name is what we used to write down our essays with back in school.
Yeah. But real quick, for all the other side chatter in the peanut gallery, uh, I would really say this anime is pretty good. I mean, even
Manga.
no, I would say beyond the concept of him having to one day maybe kill everybody around him, or him going berserk because of his gluttony skill. It really starts off good because you see how like a level one guy kind of has to start leveling himself up from being bullied to being able like to fight his bullies, also to start protecting people who he wants to protect. Um, it to me, and then he kind of like out of nowhere has a sword that can talk to him that kind of goes with his gluttony skill. That after he gains like a certain number of levels or like skill stats, he can feed all that into the sword, and the sword would get stronger or be able to change it to different weapons. But the caveat of that is he'll go all the way back to like level one or something. And so I'm like, oh, okay, you have like a cool little sword. Like I say, he's definitely leveling up, fighting bigger, different things. He also has like a love interest. Her name is Roxy Hart. He's doing it to kind of also protect her. So I was surprised that a romantic guy wouldn't like that aspect of it. I was really interested. I'm still reading it, but it only comes out like once a month, so it's a little hard.
That's annoying.
Oh, it's beyond annoying. It's beyond annoying. But what I've also noticed with mangakas, like if you're once a month is probably pretty normal if you're not overworking yourself. If you're doing it like every week, if you're dropping something every week, you're not getting a lot of sleep at all. Like you're really on the bleeding edge of your manga. So I can understand the once a month type of thing. Overall, I probably would give this a 8 out of 10. I like everything about it. There's very few little I don't like about it, really at all. Because the character is not necessarily a know it all, but not as like a he's not a Luffy. He's not stupid. He plays pretty well sized. He thinks during his battles. He figured things out pretty quickly. The manga gives you enough intrigue to keep on wanting to read it because you learn that he's one of 7 deadly sins. He has the gluttony skill. You also meet other people who you also call mine who has the wrath. And like it's really really interesting in my opinion.
What would you give the rating?
Said 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Strong 8 out of 10. But yeah, Berserk of Gluttony
Okay, that was a manga though, right?
manga. Yep.
Okay, so once again, usually we got this little thing, Rocky's video games, KV's manga, but I told you guys I'd have a surprise. It's been 20 episodes now, and your boy, little brother, has finally come with a manga recommendation.
A manga.
If you want to do a manga recommendation, I could have did an anime recommendation.
It's okay. I I'm just too hyped for this because your boy has been trying to get into mangas again for the longest, and this one just fell into my lap. The only problem is it's a new one, so it's still coming out slowly.
Oh, my favorite.
It barely has 8 chapters out, which is ironic because it has 8 in the name of the actual name of the show or manga. What I need to recommend you guys, and I hope that you all actually get into it, and I hope that it becomes an actual anime one day, is Monster 8. Monster
Monster
number 8.
8?
Monster
Monster.
number 8. But you know, Monster 8. Monster number 8. Monster number 8. So it revolves around our main character, uh, Kefka Hibino. So let me clear the lungs for this one. The manga wastes no time introducing us in its world in which gigantic monsters have been battling with Japan's society for years. Though the Japanese defense force is able to protect the country, for the most part, the military isn't for everyone. Take protagonist Kefka Hibano, for instance, a 32-year-old guy who failed the military examination and lost all hope instantly. Still, he does his part. Instead of fighting it in the front lines, he's part of the cleanup crew that removes monster corpses after the defense force has defeated them. Though Kefka once wanted to fight in glory, or sorry, wanted to find glory in the military, reality shows him that there's a huge divide between him and his former dream. There's also him and his as he watches television, his childhood friend Ashira appears on screen. Despite being 5 years older than his junior, she already has been promoted. She has already been promoted to captain of the defense force team. I'm just trying to like barrel through this because I want to get into what the meat and the potatoes of this is actually. So he wants to be a part of the defense force, but he kind of loses his what is it called, drive, because he kind of like flunked out of it, and he just like, you know what, I guess I'll just do my part and I won't be beside my he kind of ends up having a crush on her too, but he won't be beside her fighting alongside her, so he kind of just gives up on his dream. Another character comes along the way and is like, no, you should never give up your dream. I'm not going to be like you and give up. And that kind of motivate him to do his best again. But one day they get attacked by an after beast, which is a monster that's fallen off of the main monster that came, and it almost kills them, but they kind of like hold it off, and they both end up in the hospital. He actually sees his friend at this time, Mina Ashida, and she kind of just side glances him. She doesn't really truly acknowledge him, and it kind of like hurts him inside. But one day, this monster, as they're sitting in the hospital, this like very tiny monster, and it's like they've never seen something like that before. It enters the room and it goes inside Hivana, and out of nowhere he just bursts into, I want to say flames, but he kind of like has flaming skin and he turns into an actual monster. Mm, off the bat, that's awesome. But now as the manga has keep going on, I can't say anime, it's a manga. As it keeps going on, he starts to get control of these powers, and they kind of hint at it, but he's gonna end up using these powers to defend the world against the monsters. And they kind of just dropped a little ball. They kind of power scaled him because they didn't define him directly, but they power scaled him. He's actually one of the strongest monsters that the world has ever seen. Boom, boom.
You sound super excited for it.
I am too hyped for this, and
Well, you said a few things that are gonna get me to read it. First off, you said romance in it. Second
oh.
off, guy with cool powers. And I looked it up. I know you saw me look it up.
Mhm.
It does look genuinely interesting. I opened it on my phone, so it's under one of my 43 tabs of mangas I'm reading.
I definitely have like at least about 20 of them that I'm kind of currently jumping in and out of as well.
Mm, guys, I just really want this to be an anime because I am too hyped for it. I'm reading it. There's this like I don't want to say princess chick, but she's like this rich chick who's supposed to be like the prodigy or the she's supposed to be the Bakuno of this anime. If you ever watched My Hero Academia, uh, oh my god, I can't say enough good things about this.
I
Y'all,
know.
y'all kept hearing me recommend anime after anime and video games. Sometimes, guess what? I dropped the manga, and it is just a banger to me. If I'm gonna give it a rating right now, it's an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10.
Is there anything you don't like about it?
That it's not out more, and it's a little bit.
Manga reader problems.
It's a little slow paced at the moment. Like it's not just pure action all off the bat. It has a good amount though. It has a very good amount. Um, it's developing a story though, so I can't complain about it. But I want to see where this goes. I want to see um, like how are they gonna him being the new monster and him being a human though, how is the world going to react, because nobody really knows about his power yet.
Okay, like yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out as well. It sounds really good. And I'm really surprised because you're never into reading manga at all. So
Really
I know it
not.
has to be really, really good for a little brother to really be into it.
Oof. Ah, that was a lot.
Yeah,
That was a
looking
lot.
out of breath over there.
But you know what,
All right.
do we have any what do you call them,
Shout
shout
outs.
outs?
Shout out to all of our listeners all over the world.
You know what? I'll say shout out to Ireland, because and I'm not trying to bash on the other countries, but Ireland has been showing up. Like the Leinster, and please don't judge me if I got that wrong.
Is it
But
Lannister or Lannister?
it might be Lannister.
Oh
I don't think
no,
it's Lannister though. I think that's a Game of Thrones reference.
it is. That's how I was just saying it. Like Lannister or Lannister?
But Ireland has been showing up. I think they tuned into like at least like 3 of our episodes, but they have just been steadily climbing the charts. It is Leinster. Once again, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not from Ireland, but thank you, and also thank you to Singapore. Thank you to all the countries who are listening to us. We really very much appreciate it. Can't appreciate it enough.
Thank you guys.
Um, so, uh, is that the wrap up? That's the wrap up. So, guys, remember always listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, little algorithm that they got going there. We had an interesting episode, so tell us what your what would be your anime that you put together? Would it be an isekai? Would it be a rom com? What would it be?
Obviously, it's gonna be rom com. They all like the good stuff.
Action pack with a good story behind it.
All for the shonen lovers. Or would it be something different? Like I would always circle back to Another the anime, just because that's like Final Destination. That's a horror mystery type of anime. So
The
would
exact
you
opposite of the kind I watch.
would it be something like that? Tell us in those reviews. Tell us anything. Or
In
if
the
you want to
comments,
contact us, if they wanted to contact us.
oh yeah, hit us up at mavericks@gmail.com. That is MAVREAKS @gmail.com.
Or you can hit us up at BBEMav2020 at gmail.com. That's BBEMav2020 at gmail.com.
All right, guys. So thank you guys for showing up for another episode of the M.A.V show.
Thank you. Thank you. This was a fun one.
Yes, I got
All
excited a lot for this one.
right.
Thank you for Rocky. Hopefully, he's pretty much a new member of the squad now.
Yep. I now dub you a permanent host, Rocky. We will see you on more episodes to come, my guy.
I'll come back unless I die.
Dub the Sir Rocky.
I take it.
All right, guys. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Later.